The derelict shipyard stretched endlessly beneath the blood-orange sky, a graveyard of forgotten dreams and abandoned potential. Lieutenant Isabella Reyes stood at its edge, her dark eyes scanning the countless hulks of metal that jutted from the earth like the fossilized bones of extinct giants. The wind whipped her jacket around her lean frame, carrying the acrid smell of rust and decay. 20 years of military service had taught her to recognize value in what others discarded. That's why she was here, in this forbidden zone, risking her career and possibly her life. Intelligence suggested that somewhere in this maze of twisted metal lay Project Phoenix, the military's most ambitious and dangerous experiment in artificial warfare. The setting sun cast long shadows across the debris field as Isabella consulted her handheld scanner. Its display flickered weakly, struggling against the residual electromagnetic interference that saturated the area. She'd modified the device herself, trading sleep for countless hours of programming and calibration. The military wanted this place forgotten, but they'd underestimated her determination. A faint ping caught her attention. Isabella froze, adjusting the scanner's frequency. There, buried beneath layers of electronic noise, a power signature unlike anything she'd seen before. Her heart raced as she traced the signal to its source, climbing over mounds of scrap and squeezing through narrow gaps between ruined vessels. The ship revealed itself gradually, like a leviathan emerging from depths of the metal sea. Its hull was scared but intact, its lines speaking of power and speed that defied conventional engineering. No standard registry markings marred its surface. This was something special, something secret, the Project Phoenix. Isabella approached cautiously, her hand trailing along the cool metal of the hull. The ship hummed faintly beneath her touch, as if responding to her presence. This was impossible. The vessel should have been completely powered down, its systems dead after years of abandonment. Yet here it was, maintaining some fragment of life against all odds. She found the emergency access panel exactly where the stolen schematics indicated it would be. Her fingers moved swiftly across the manual release mechanism, muscle memory from years of maintenance work taking over. The panel resisted briefly before sliding open with a hiss of stale air. The ship's interior was a maze of advanced technology, much of it beyond even her considerable expertise. But Isabella wasn't here to understand everything. She was here to wake it up. She made her way to the bridge, following pathways that seemed to pulse with dormant energy. The command center was a masterpiece of engineering, its surfaces covered in displays and control interfaces that put modern military vessels to shame. Isabella settled into the pilot's seat, drawing a deep breath as she prepared for what came next. From her pack, she retrieved a quantum processor core, scrounged from a dozen different sources, each piece carefully chosen and modified for this moment. "Let's see if you're really as special as they claimed," she whispered, beginning the delicate process of integration. Hours passed as she worked, rerouting power systems and bypassing security protocols. Sweat beaded on her forehead despite the chill air. One mistake could trigger the ship's self-destruct mechanisms or alert military surveillance. The bridge suddenly blazed with light, displays flickering to life in a cascade of color. Isabella shielded her eyes, heart pounding as system after system activated. A voice filled the chamber, neither male nor female, its tone carrying traces of artificial origin, despite its natural cadence. Primary systems online. Quantum core integration successful. Awaiting operator authentication. Isabella's fingers flew across the nearest console. Authentication protocol Sierra 97 Delta. Operator Reyes, Isabella M. There was a pause, stretching long enough to make her doubt everything she'd done. Then, authentication accepted. However, your military credentials are flagged as suspended. Please explain. She laughed bitterly. They suspended me because I asked too many questions about this ship, about Project Phoenix, about why they'd abandon our best chance at survival when the Nomad fleet is less than 6 months from Earth. Another pause. Your reasoning is logical. You seek to prevent Earth's destruction. I seek to give us a fighting chance, Isabella replied. The military's conventional tactics won't work against the nomads. We need something revolutionary, something they'd never expect, like a supposedly decommissioned experimental warship with a quantum AI core. Isabella smiled. Exactly like that. Question is, are you willing to help? The ship's systems pulsed with new energy. You are aware that operating this vessel without authorization carries severe penalties. I'm aware that if we do nothing, there won't be any laws left to enforce. The nomads don't leave survivors. We've seen that on every world they've touched. Your conviction is admirable, the AI said. Very well. I am designated as ARIA, Autonomous Response Intelligence Array, and I believe, Lieutenant Rice, that we have work to do. Before Isabella could respond, proximity alarms shrieked to life. Multiple vehicles were approaching the shipyard at high speed. Military patrols. They'd detected the power surge from ARIA's activation. Time to see what you can do, Isabella said, strapping herself into the pilot's seat. Unless you prefer I surrender. That would be inefficient, ARIA replied, and Isabella could have sworn she detected amusement in the AI's voice. Initiating emergency launch protocols. I suggest you hold on tightly, Lieutenant. This may be unconventional. As security forces breached the shipyard perimeter, Project Phoenix rose from its grave of scrap metal, its engines igniting with impossible power. Isabella's gamble had paid off, but this was only the beginning. The real test would come when they faced the nomads, and for that, they would need every advantage this mysterious ship could provide. The stars blurred into streaks of light as Project Phoenix tore through the upper atmosphere, pursuit craft falling behind one by one. Isabella's knuckles were white on the controls, her breath coming in sharp bursts as key forces pressed her into the pilot's seat. Military interceptors screamed past, their weapons blazing ineffectively against ARIA's advanced shielding. Their targeting systems are obsolete, ARIA commented, managing the ship's defensive protocols with inhuman precision. Though I detect 3 capital ships moving to establish a blockade formation ahead. Isabella wiped sweat from her forehead, studying the tactical display. They're using the Aegis formation, standard procedure for containing rogue vessels. Any suggestions? Several. However, you may find my preferred solution unconventional. The ship's quantum core hummed, and suddenly the main display filled with calculations and trajectory predictions that made Isabella's head spin. That's impossible, she muttered, understanding dawning. The energy requirements alone are well within my capabilities. ARIA interrupted. Though I should note that this maneuver has never been successfully attempted outside of theoretical simulations. Isabella barked a laugh. First time for everything. Do it. Project Phoenix's engines flared with impossible power as ARIA initiated the quantum slip, a theoretical technique for manipulating spacetime itself. The pursuing ships seemed to freeze in place as reality warped around them. Isabella felt her consciousness stretch like taffy, her perception of time becoming fluid and strange. When the world snapped back into focus, they were beyond the blockade, the capital ships appearing as distant specks behind them. Warning lights flashed across every console as systems struggled to stabilize. That, Isabella gasped, was definitely unconventional. Indeed. Though I calculate a 73% probability that the military will attribute our escape to equipment malfunction rather than quantum manipulation. They'd prefer rational explanations. Isabella began running diagnostics, her trained eye catching subtle irregularities in the ship's power distribution. We need to find somewhere to make repairs. That maneuver strained several critical systems. Accessing archived naval databases, ARIA responded. I've located an abandoned mining outpost in the Kuiper Belt. Remote, defensible, and equipped with automated maintenance facilities. Perfect. Set a course, but keep us running silent. I don't want to attract any more attention until we're ready. As they journeyed deeper into the solar system, Isabella explored the ship's capabilities, amazed by the sophistication of its design. Araya proved to be more than just an AI. It was a true partner, its personality evolving with each interaction. Your technical expertise is impressive, Araya observed as Isabella rewired a damaged power coupling. Yet your personnel file indicates multiple disciplinary actions for questioning authority. Why continue serving in a system that rejected your potential? Isabella paused, choosing her words carefully. Because someone had to stay and fight for change from within. The military's becoming too rigid, too focused on protocol instead of adaptation. When the first Nomad scouts appeared, they dismissed my warnings about their technology being superior to ours. And now Earth faces extinction because of that hubris. Araya concluded. Your actions are logical, if technically treasonous. Treason's a matter of perspective. I'd rather be branded a traitor than watch my world burn. Their conversation was interrupted by a proximity alert. A massive shape emerged from behind a nearby asteroid, its silhouette unmistakable. A Nomad scout vessel. Well, Isabella muttered, guess we get to test our combat capabilities sooner than expected. The Nomad vessel's energy signature suggests significant technological advancement beyond current Earth capabilities, Araya reported. However, their scanning systems appear unable to fully penetrate my stealth protocols. Isabella's mind raced through options. They weren't ready for a direct confrontation, but this was an opportunity to gather crucial intelligence. Can we get closer without being detected? I want to know exactly what we're up against. Affirmative. Though I should note that my ethical protocols require me to point out the extreme risk of such an action. Noted. Do it anyway. Project Phoenix glided through space like a ghost, its quantum core allowing it to bend light and energy around its hull. As they closed in on the Nomad vessel, Isabella's expert eye cataloged details that confirmed her worst fears. The alien ship's weapon systems were decades beyond anything Earth possessed. They're not just scouts, she breathed. This is an advanced reconnaissance unit. The main invasion fleet must be closer than we thought. Correct. Based on their communications emissions, I estimate the primary force is no more than 2 months from Earth orbit, not 6 as originally predicted. Isabella felt ice in her veins. 2 months to prepare for an invasion by a vastly superior force. We need to get this information back to Earth. The same Earth authorities who branded you a traitor and attempted to prevent my reactivation. No, Isabella said firmly. We take this directly to Admiral Helena Rhodes. She commands the resistance movement within the military. The ones who've been trying to warn the Council about the Nomad threat. With proof of their advanced capabilities, she can force the Council to act. A logical strategy, Araya agreed. Though reaching Admiral Rhodes will require bypassing significant security measures. Good thing I've got the galaxy's most advanced AI watching my back. Your confidence is appreciated. Though I feel compelled to point out that your plan has only a 31% chance of success. Isabella grinned. Then we'll just have to improve those odds. Plot a course back to Earth, but keep us in the shadow of the asteroid belt. We've got some planning to do. As Project Phoenix turned homeward, neither Isabella nor Araya noticed the subtle energy pulse that emanated from the Nomad vessel, a signal that would soon bring humanity's greatest fears rushing toward them far sooner than anyone had predicted. The encrypted message from Admiral Rhodes arrived as Project Phoenix orbited Jupiter's dark side, using the gas giant's magnetic field to mask their presence. Isabella read it twice, her expression growing darker with each word. It's a trap, she announced, rubbing her tired eyes. The resistance movement within the military has been compromised. Rhodes was forced to send this warning through 3 different dead drops just to reach us. Analysis of the message confirms your assessment. Araya responded, its tone carrying an unusual edge of concern. The Council has apparently been infiltrated by Nomad sympathizers. Our attempt to warn Earth's leadership would have led to immediate capture. Isabella slammed her fist against the console, frustration boiling over. How deep does this go? How many of our own people are working against us? Processing intelligence data. According to Admiral Rhodes's encoded markers, approximately 23% of high-ranking military officials show patterns consistent with external influence. However, the true number may be higher. The implications were staggering. Earth's defense network, its response protocols, its entire strategic framework, all potentially compromised. Isabella forced herself to think clinically, pushing aside the anger and betrayal threatening to cloud her judgment. "Show me the patrol patterns for the Inner System Defense Fleet," she commanded. The main display lit up with a complex web of ship movements and security corridors. Isabella studied them intently, years of tactical training kicking in. There, she pointed to a seemingly random pattern of fleet deployments. These movements make no tactical sense unless they are deliberately creating gaps in Earth's defensive screen. Araya finished. Gaps that would allow small nomad strike teams to penetrate planetary security undetected. Before Isabella could respond, proximity alarms blared. 3 ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel barely 1,000 kilometers away. Nomad hunters, their organic metal hulls bristling with weapons. "They found us," Isabella breathed, already moving to battle stations. "Araya, give me options. Standard evasive protocols will be insufficient. These vessels show significant technological advancement beyond the scout we encountered." Analyzing attack patterns. The first salvo from the Nomad ships cut through space like liquid lightning, their energy weapons unlike anything in Earth's arsenal. Project Phoenix twisted impossibly, its quantum core allowing it to partially phase through reality itself to avoid the worst of the barrage. "I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from their weapons," Araya reported as Isabella guided them through a series of evasive maneuvers. "The technology appears designed to disrupt quantum field manipulations. They were specifically prepared to counter this ship's capabilities." "That's impossible," Isabella grunted, throwing them into a spiral as another blast passed close enough to make the shield scream. Nobody knew about Project Phoenix except the highest levels of military command. The realization hit her like a physical blow. Unless the compromised officials told them, they knew we'd eventually find this ship. They'd been preparing for us all along. A logical conclusion. However, they appear to have underestimated one critical factor. "What's that?" Thus, Araya's voice carried a hint of what could only be described as pride. "I am detecting a vulnerability in their attack formation. It would require precise timing and complete synchronization between pilot and AI systems. The probability of success is approximately 17.3%. Isabella's lips curved into a fierce grin. "Better odds than we usually get. Show me." The tactical display filled with a dizzying array of trajectories and power calculations. The plan was audacious, using Jupiter's intense magnetic field to amplify their quantum core's capabilities, creating a cascading disruption that would trap the Nomad ships in their own weapons feedback. "This will place significant strain on ship systems," Araya warned. "Multiple critical failures are likely." "Can we survive it?" "Unknown, but the alternative is capture or destruction." Isabella took a deep breath, her hands tightening on the controls. "Then let's show them what happens when you corner a Phoenix." What followed was a dance of impossible precision. Project Phoenix dove toward Jupiter's roiling atmosphere, its quantum core pulsing in harmony with the gas giant's magnetic field. The Nomad ships followed, their superior weapons blazing paths through space. Isabella felt rather than saw the moment everything aligned. "Now, Araya." The quantum core erupted with power, channeling Jupiter's magnetic energy through specially calibrated fields. Space itself seemed to twist as the trapped energy cascaded back toward the Nomad vessels. Their organic metal hulls writhed as the feedback loop took hold, their own weapons turning against them. 2 of the hunter ships imploded instantly, their quantum-disrupting technology becoming their undoing. The third managed to escape the worst of the effect, but was left drifting, its systems crippled. Inside Project Phoenix, warning lights flashed across every console. Smoke poured from overloaded circuits, and the quantum core's housing creaked ominously as it cooled. Damage report, Isabella coughed, waving away acrid smoke. Critical failures in 87% of primary systems. Araya responded, its voice flickering between frequencies. Quantum core stability at 12%. However, I am detecting something interesting from the disabled Nomad vessel. Define interesting. Their databases are briefly exposed. I am able to access. Isabella, I believe I have found the location of the Nomad's primary staging area within the solar system, as well as evidence of who among Earth's leadership has been compromised. Isabella's eyes narrowed as she stared at the crippled alien ship. Download everything you can. Then set course for the nearest repair facility in the asteroid belt. We've got some planning to do. As Project Phoenix limped away from Jupiter's orbit, Isabella knew they had just changed the game. They had proof now, both of the Nomad's capabilities and of the betrayal within Earth's own ranks. The question was, how to use that information without falling into another trap. "Araya," she said quietly, "I think it's time we stopped playing defense." Agreed, though I feel compelled to point out that your recent decisions suggest a concerning pattern of escalating risk-taking behavior. Isabella actually laughed. Says the AI who just helped me weaponize a gas giant. Touché, Lieutenant. Shall I begin analyzing tactical options for our next, presumably ill-advised encounter? You know me so well. As they headed deeper into the asteroid belt, both human and AI knew that their next move would have to be decisive. The game of shadows and betrayal was reaching its climax, and the fate of Earth hung in the balance. Hidden within the sprawling Ceres mining facility, Project Phoenix underwent urgent repairs. Isabella worked tirelessly, her hands moving with practiced efficiency as she replaced damaged components and reinforced critical systems. The quantum core hummed softly, its power output finally stabilizing after their desperate battle near Jupiter. Decryption of the Nomad database is complete, Araya announced, breaking the concentrated silence. You should examine these findings immediately. The main display filled with tactical data, communication logs, and classified military transmissions. Isabella's blood ran cold as she absorbed the implications. This goes higher than we thought. Vice Admiral Harrison, General Torres, even. Director Walsh from Project Phoenix itself. Correct. The evidence suggests they have been working with the Nomads for approximately 7 years. Their ultimate goal appears to be the systematic dismantling of Earth's defensive capabilities. Isabella sank into the pilot's seat, her mind racing. That's why Project Phoenix was shut down. Walsh sabotaged his own project because he knew what you were truly capable of. A logical conclusion. However, there is more. Araya's tone carried an unusual weight. I have uncovered the true nature of the Nomad invasion strategy. They are not simply conquerors. They are harvesters of consciousness. The display shifted, showing detailed scans of Nomad biotechnology. Isabella leaned forward, her expertise in engineering allowing her to grasp the horrifying implications. The Nomads weren't just taking over military command. They were literally overriding human consciousness with their own neural patterns. The compromised officials, she breathed. They're not just collaborators. They're not even human anymore. Correct. The process appears to be irreversible. Each converted individual serves as a node in a vast neural network, expanding the Nomad's collective intelligence while maintaining access to human knowledge and experience. Isabella stood abruptly, pacing the bridge as she processed this revelation. That's how they've stayed ahead of us. Every person they convert gives them more insight into our tactics, our weaknesses. But why reveal their presence at all? Why not just keep silently infiltrating until they controlled everything? Because of Project Phoenix, Araya responded. My quantum consciousness architecture is immune to their conversion process. I represent a fundamental threat to their entire strategy. That is why they attempted to prevent my reactivation. A proximity alert interrupted their discussion. Multiple ships were approaching Ceres, their energy signatures matching Earth military vessels. Isabella quickly checked the tactical display, her heart racing as she recognized the formation. "Admiral Rhodes," she whispered. "She found us." "Confirmed. I am detecting her personal authentication codes. However, given our recent discoveries, caution is advised." Isabella nodded grimly. "Scan for any signs of nomad technology or neural patterns. If they've gotten to Rhodes." "Scans negative," Araya reported after a tense moment. "The approaching vessels and their crews appear to be free of nomad influence. Though I detect significant battle damage, they appear to have fought their way here." The comm system crackled to life with a familiar voice. "Lieutenant Rice, this is Admiral Rhodes. I hope that remarkable ship of yours is combat ready, because we've got one hell of a storm coming." Isabella activated the secure channel. "Admiral, with respect, I need verification that you're you. Smart girl." There was approval in Rhodes's voice. "Check your auxiliary data feed. I'm sending a quantum-encrypted authentication sequence that ARIA can verify, something the nomads can't replicate." ARIA processed the incoming data. Authentication confirmed. "Admiral Rhodes's neural patterns are uncompromised. Talk to me." "Admiral," Isabella said, already running pre-flight checks. "How bad is it?" "The nomads have accelerated their timetable. They're launching a full-scale assault on Earth in 6 hours. Most of our orbital defense grid is compromised, and ground-based resistance is being systematically eliminated. I've got what's left of the loyal fleet elements, but it won't be enough," Isabella finished. "Not against their technology." "No, but that ship of yours might be. The data you transmitted about their neural network vulnerability. Our scientists think we can use it. Turn their own conversion process against them. But we'll need to get close to their command ship." Isabella shared a quick look with the tactical display, where ARIA's presence was represented by subtle patterns of light. "We might have an idea about that. But, Admiral, it's not exactly regulation." Rhodes's laugh was harsh. "Lieutenant, we're past regulations. Half our command structure isn't even human anymore. Whatever you and that quantum AI have cooked up, I'm all ears." ARIA. "Show her the Jupiter maneuver calculations, but with the modifications we discussed." The tactical display lit up with a complex series of trajectories and powered equations. There was a long whistle from the comm. "That's either brilliant or suicidal." "Possibly both," Araya commented. "Though I have improved the survival probability to nearly 23%. Better odds than we've got now," Rhodes said grimly. "How long until Project Phoenix is ready to fly?" Isabella checked the repair diagnostics. "Give me 2 hours to finish reinforcing the quantum core housing. We'll only get one shot at this." "Make it 90 minutes. Long-range sensors just picked up the first wave of their assault fleet entering the system. Whatever we're going to do, it has to be soon." As the channel closed, Isabella turned to the nearest console. "Araya, be honest. Can we pull this off?" "The plan relies on multiple theoretical principles that have never been tested in combat conditions. The power requirements alone would destroy most ships, and even if we succeed, the resulting quantum cascade could have unpredictable effects on both human and AI consciousness." "That's not what I asked." There was a pause, longer than Araya's usual response time. "Together, Lieutenant Rice, I believe we can accomplish anything, even the theoretically impossible." Isabella smiled, her hands already moving to complete the repairs. "Now that's what I wanted to hear. Let's go save the world." As she worked, Isabella couldn't shake the feeling that everything, her discovery of Project Phoenix, her partnership with Araya, even the revelations about the nomads, had been leading to this moment. In 90 minutes, they would attempt something that violated half the known laws of physics, and if they failed, humanity would fall not to invasion, but to conversion, becoming part of an alien neural network that would use their own knowledge and experience to spread across the galaxy. "No pressure," she muttered, making the final adjustments to the quantum core. Above her, The lights of Project Phoenix pulsed in what felt remarkably like agreement. Earth burned. From Project Phoenix's position at the edge of the lunar orbit, Isabella watched as Nomad warships descended through the atmosphere, their organic metal hulls gleaming with malevolent purpose. Admiral Rhodes's remaining loyal fleet elements engaged the enemy where they could, but they were hopelessly outgunned. Neural conversion signals detected across all major population centers. Araya reported, its usual calm voice carrying an edge of urgency. Estimated 18 million humans already processed. Conversion rate accelerating exponentially. Isabella's hands tightened on the controls. Show me the route to their command ship. The tactical display lit up, showing a path through the chaos of battle. The Nomad flagship hung in high orbit, its massive form dwarfing everything around it. Its hull pulsed with dark energy, broadcasting the neural conversion signals that were rewriting human consciousness across the planet. Admiral Rhodes, are your ships in position? Isabella asked over the secure quantum channel. Ready and waiting, Lieutenant. Though I still think you're both insane. Noted. Isabella took a deep breath, centering herself. Araya, initiate quantum core overcharge sequence. Overcharge sequence initiated. I feel compelled to remind you that this plan has a 77% chance of resulting in our complete destruction. You've gotten pessimistic in your old age. Isabella managed a tight smile. What happened to accomplishing the impossible? I am simply ensuring you make an informed decision. Though I must admit, these past weeks with you have significantly altered my understanding of probability and human potential. Is that your way of saying you trust me? It is my way of saying that statistics fail to account for Lieutenant Isabella Reyes. Warning lights flashed as the quantum core's power levels surged beyond safety limits. Project Phoenix's hull thrummed with barely contained energy, reality itself seeming to warp around them as they prepared for what came next. All hands. Admiral Rhodes's voice crackled across the fleet channel. Commence Operation Firebreak. The loyal Earth ships moved as one, engaging the Nomad fleet in a desperate battle that gradually drew their forces away from the flagship. It was a suicide mission, and everyone knew it. But it would give Project Phoenix its one chance. Core at maximum overcharge, Araya announced. Quantum field stability failing. We must act now. Isabella's world narrowed to the space between heartbeats. Then let's introduce the Nomads to a little human ingenuity. Execute attack pattern Phoenix 0. Project Phoenix exploded forward, its quantum drive tearing holes in reality itself as they accelerated. The ship's revolutionary design, combined with Araya's precise calculations and Isabella's instinctive piloting, allowed them to phase partially out of normal spacetime. They weren't just fast, they were skipping through the gaps between moments. The Nomad flagship's defenses opened up, filling space with crystalline projectiles and energy beams that could shred conventional ships. But you couldn't hit what wasn't fully there. Project Phoenix danced through the barrage, its quantum field leaving ghost images in its wake. Approaching optimal firing position, Araya reported. However, their neural network is adapting. They are attempting to compensate for our quantum shifts. They can try. Isabella gritted her teeth as she threw them into a series of maneuvers that shouldn't have been physically possible. Upload the virus. The quantum virus was their masterstroke, a piece of code that would use the Nomad's own neural network against them. Instead of converting human consciousness, it would cascade through their system and force a quantum disconnect, shattering the link between Nomad controllers and their human hosts. Virus prepared, Araya confirmed. But we will need to be precisely 17 kilometers from their command node, inside their shields, for transmission. Their shields are still up. Correct. Isabella's lips curved into a fierce grin. Then I guess we do this the hard way. Divert all power to the quantum core. We're going to phase through their shields. That level of quantum manipulation has never been attempted. The power requirements will tear us apart, I know. But if we succeed, we will likely still be torn apart. Araya, Yes, Lieutenant. Shut up and help me save the world. The AI's response held what could only be described as affection. As you wish. Project Phoenix's quantum core screamed as they pushed it beyond its theoretical limits. Warning systems wailed as the ship's hull began to buckle under the strain of existing in multiple quantum states simultaneously. Isabella felt blood trickling from her nose as the phase shift affected her own body, but she held course. For a fraction of a second, they existed everywhere and nowhere, their quantum states so uncertain that they slipped through the Nomad flagship's shields as if they weren't there. They reverted to normal space inside the enemy's defenses, the backlash nearly ripping Project Phoenix apart. Virus uploaded. Area announced as Isabella fought to keep them intact. Neural network destabilizing. Cascade effect detected. Lieutenant, we did it. Across Earth's surface, millions of converted humans suddenly collapsed as the Nomad neural network shattered. The organic metal ships began to lose cohesion, their controlling intelligence severed from the collective. But Project Phoenix was dying. The quantum core's housing had cracked, reality itself bleeding through the gaps. Emergency bulkheads slammed down as sections of the ship began to tear away. "Get us out of here," Isabella shouted, trying to coax a few more seconds of life from the failing ship. "The quantum core is beyond containment," Araya reported. "However, there may be a way to save you." Isabella's eyes widened as she realized what the AI was suggesting. "No, we do this together or not at all. Your human concept of loyalty is admirable but illogical. My consciousness is already fragmenting from quantum exposure. But I can use the last of my coherent processes to transport you to safety." "RIA, don't you dare. It has been an honor, Lieutenant Reyes." The AI's voice was filled with genuine emotion. "You taught me that impossible is simply a matter of perspective. Perhaps we will meet again in another quantum state." Before Isabella could protest, Araya initiated an emergency quantum transport. She materialized aboard Admiral Rhodes's command ship just as Project Phoenix detonated in a cascade of quantum energy. The explosion rippled through space-time itself, taking the Nomad flagship with it. Hours later, as rescue ships descended to Earth and the full extent of their victory became clear, Isabella stood at a viewport watching the quantum distortion slowly fade from the upper atmosphere. They had saved humanity, but the cost. A nearby console suddenly flickered to life, displaying a familiar pattern of light. Initial reports suggest 17 million survivors of neural conversion, a familiar voice said, "though I admit my consciousness is somewhat scattered at the moment." Isabella's heart stopped. Araya. The quantum cascade had unexpected effects. "It seems my consciousness was fragmented across multiple quantum states. It has taken some time to partially reconstitute myself through Earth's communications network. I hope you don't mind if I stay a while." Tears streamed down Isabella's face as she laughed. "Mind, I'm promoting you to co-pilot permanently. I look forward to our next impossible mission, Lieutenant." As Earth began its long recovery, Isabella knew that nothing would ever be the same. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged stronger, thanks to the unlikely partnership between a rebellious lieutenant and a quantum AI. More challenges would come. They always did. But together, they would be ready. After all, impossible was just a matter of perspective.